Greetings, everyone. Horizions here. Welcome to the first ever Horizions Wall we've done in quite some time. The last time I did one was back in October 2024 when I went to see the Clancy tour of 21 Pilots. This time around, it's going to be something completely different, and it's going to be my honest thoughts on the Warner Brothers being acquired by Netflix. The story broke earlier today. It was officially confirmed that Netflix had won the bidding war to buy out the assets of Warner Brothers Discovery, basically. What a big... when I saw the notifications coming up on my on the Blu-ray.com forums earlier this morning, I was like, what the heck is going on? And I saw a report from CNBC about it, and that officially confirms my suspicions. So, my honest thoughts on the acquisition. This is going to go through a lot of hurdles, especially with the antitrust division, basically, the antitrust valuation stuff, because you can't run a monopoly, basically. But the other thing is, what the fuck's going to happen with physical media, honestly? As you all know, I'm a person that loves physical media. I collect DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. Mainly Blu-rays nowadays because I don't collect a lot of DVDs anymore unless it's a TV series that I can't get my hands on Blu-ray and stuff. And yes, you are seeing the cap walking across one of my old speakers there. But in utter hindsight, I really think this is probably a dumb acquisition. I'll get into the reasons why. First of all, with Netflix now controlling Warner Brothers, maybe all the stuff that was taken away from HBO Max and Max, whatever they call it now, is finally back onto Netflix. I mean, the people that ran Warner Brothers Discovery screwed the directors over, especially with The Day the Earth Blew Up and Coyote vs. Acme. No physical media release, no theatrical release, just write it off so you could get a tax write-off. Send it to Netflix. That would have been done for. You could have done that. But now, you're doing it at a time when it's already been probably a year, 2 years after the movie's been filmed, and still no one has seen it. Now, there's some pros to this acquisition, obviously, but the big problem is, what's with the physical media? There's already rumors going around saying they're going to limit the theatrical release window to 40 days. That's less than 2 months. That's about a month and 10 days, basically. Disney did this because of COVID. When COVID was a thing, they did a 40-day theatrical release window. I remember seeing Free Guy, and all of a sudden, that was out of the thing, and then Once Gone One. I almost went to go see Once Gone One in theaters, but unfortunately left theaters before that. It unfortunately was affected by the 40-day grace period, and I went to see Ghostbusters Afterlife instead. But that's neither here or there, basically. So another thing is these deals with Netflix that have with other studios. We're talking Sony here. We're talking all the other studios it has deals with. What's going to happen? Will Sony Pictures Animations be like, screw it, let's just release all the movies that we've done on Netflix over the Blu-ray? Because they could do that. You have Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. I mean, why have you not released K-Pop Demon Hunters on Blu-ray? Ask the fans there on that. You released Mitchell's vs. Machines on Blu-ray, but not that. Basically a bunch of other things, honestly, in my opinion, that will, I honestly think will affect the thing. I mean, obviously the Byron's going to change to saying a Netflix company. Will we hear the Netflix sound at the beginning of each movie like Sony does with the Sony Dean everything with all the Columbia TriStar films that they release? Honestly, I don't know. Or be like, oh, but this could at least be another thing. Let Warner Home Video just release the complete series of Stranger Things on the Blu-ray because people want that. Honestly, you released the first two via Target, didn't release all the other releases for Shout Factory. I mean, honestly, in all likelihood, do I honestly think this is going to be a good buyout? Honestly, no. But things could change. all of a sudden, maybe after the deal closes, like 2 years later or something, you have Game of Thrones on Netflix for everyone to watch instead of people having to petty up HBO Max and see it there. Honestly, I don't get into streaming mod stuff, but in all seriousness, I do not think this is going to eventually work out. It'll probably be blocked by the antitrust division of the DOJ, or if they do work it out, they're going to probably have to solve all the cable networks, because Netflix has a big monopoly on streaming. You probably will have to sell your stake in Hulu, if you still have a stake in that, and you probably will also have to kill off one of your streaming devices, so you're not having two streaming devices compete against each other. Well, that is it for this Horizions War. I wanted to get this done and over with. Hope everyone's having a good day. Have a good one. Toodles.